Let's get right into it. We're gonna be taking a look at the Global Chess League, of course, October 2nd to 13th, being held in London. We have made a tier list of the teams that are being played. There are going to be 6 teams playing. I believe the teams are of 5 players. We're going to take a look at the rosters and pick who the clear favorites are. The clear favorite is Kaga's team. Well, let's take a look at the teams first of all, okay? So, first team to take a look at is we have Magnus. We have the squad is, which squad is this? I actually can't see it clearly. This is Alpine, is what it looks like. And it has Magnus Carlsen, it has Hu Yifan, Katarina Logno, Ramesh Babu, Pragnananta, Richard Report, and Daniel Darder. Now, this is a pretty strong team. It has Magnus as Hu Yifan, and of course, Katarina Logno. Those are probably, I would say, in Rapid or Blitz, the 3 best players objectively. Obviously, Hu Yifan and Katarina Logno are quite a tier above the other female players, except for maybe Zhu Wenjun. So let's keep going. We have the Ganges squad, which is Vishy Anand, Vaishali, Salimova, Arjun Erigaisi, Parham Magsudaloo, who I was just playing, obviously, and Volodar Mirzin. Now, I do want to point out one thing for people who are watching. It is quite unclear whether the Russian players can play in London. I'm not sure that Mirzin can make it. I'm under the impression that multiple Russian players have been unable to get visas to go to the United Kingdom due to the war that they started in Ukraine. So I'm not sure if Mirzin will be on this team. Artemiev already had to withdraw. Nepo had to withdraw. Grishuk, I think, couldn't get a visa. I'd be very surprised if Mirzin is actually on this team, but for the moment, let's assume that he is. And let's keep going. Next, we have, of course, the Mumbai. I think that's Mumbai, or is it Mumbai Masters? You have Maxime Vachilegrov, Humpy Kanaru, Harika Dronavali, Alexander Grishuk, assuming he can get a visa, obviously, Vita Gujarati, and Raunak Sadhwani. Next up, we have the PBG. It's going to be, for everybody who's watching, those of you guys who are watching on X as well, it's going to be October 2nd to, I believe, 12th. Everybody plays each other. So, or not everybody plays everybody. Board 1 plays Board 1. Board 2 plays Board 2. Board 3 plays Board 3. Board 4 plays Board 4. Board 5 plays Board 5. So there are 5 boards, I believe, or maybe it's 6 boards. I think it's 5. I think you have one person who's resting, but it could be 6 if I'm wrong. But anyway, we have the PBG tournament, or PBG team, which has Anish Giri, Peanut Butter and Peanut Butter and something, I don't know what. But you have Anish Giri, Tan Zhangji, Alina Kashanskaya, Norbek Abdustorov, Shakira Mamedyarov, and Nihal Sarin, very strong. And then of course you have this is a funny graphic. You have this team, the Kings. They have Alireza Firouzja replacing Jan Nepomniachtchi. Peanut Butter and Giri, yes. Anish Giri, Alireza Firouzja, because Jan Nepomniachtchi couldn't get a visa. I'm gonna abort the game. Sorry, bro. We're done with that segment of the stream. We have Alexander Kosteniuk, Valentina Gunina. We have Vei, Timur Rajbov, and Yavokir Sindarov. So this team is fairly strong too. And then last but not least, of course, we have the American Gambits, which has Hikaru Nakamura, that streamer guy. You have Bibisara Asubayeva. You have Elizabeth Potts. You have Vladislav Artemiev, who's now been replaced by Vladimir Fedoseev, Jan Krzysztof Duda, and Jonas Buell-Bier. So some of the players have been unable to make it. For example, Artemiev is out. Nepo is out. I think I said before, I'd be extremely surprised if Grishuk is playing or Mirzin is playing, unless they have longer-term visas or they got visas before the war started. Pretty unlikely that they'll be playing. So those teams are subject to change, but those are the teams for the event. So let's make our tier list. We're going to move over to this scene. There are the 6 teams. So the clear favorite, I'm going to be honest. When I'm going to be very, very objective about the teams. I mean, I think it's very hard. Let's take a look. I want to take a look. It's very hard to not say that the team with Magnus that they aren't the favorites, primarily because of the strength that they have. They have basically the two strongest female players in Hu Yifan and Katarina Logno. I think in Rapid and Blitz, Logno's traditionally been right up there in the top 2 or top 3. You've got Hu Yifan, who's of course the second best female player in history after Judith Polgar. So it's really hard to see them not being favorite. Darda's a little bit soft on the bottom board, but Prague and Rapport are very, very strong. So I think if Prague has a good event, and I think he's probably very motivated after his very poor Olympiad performance, I think probably the favorite has to be them. So they are the they are this one. They're Alpine. I'm gonna put them as a clear favorite. I think they're the favorite just because I think they're the favorite because of the strength of the female players. It's not that they're better across the table, but I think they're the strongest because of the female players on the two female players. So I think if they play well, they can just run the table. That's the main reason I put them as the favorites. It's not about the other boards. It's primarily because those the two female players. I thought Prague did not do so great. Didn't he lose to Wesley? He was the only Indian player to lose the game, I believe. Maybe he didn't do poorly, but it didn't. He wasn't on fire. Let's say like Gukesh and Arjun were. That's for sure. Magnus has nothing to team. Noted. Yes, exactly. So they're, I think, the clear favorites. Let's move to the next one. You have the team with Vishy, Vaishali, Salimova, Arjun, Parham, and Murzin. This team, I'm going to be honest, feels a little bit soft. Again, Vaishali's been improving a lot, but Salimova, she's a good player. I don't put her on the same level as those top two. Let me run through the female players again. Humpy and Harika, Tanzhangji, Kashinskaya, Kosniuk Gunina, Bibisara, and Lizzie. I don't know. It's hard to judge, but it's hard to judge. Very hard to judge. I think she's also much more of a classical player. So they have potential. If Arjun plays like a god, obviously if Arjun plays like he's a man on fire, they definitely have good chance. But they're gonna need someone else to pick it up. Vishy will probably be Mr. Rock Solid. Parham up and down could be good. I think they're somewhere in the middle though. I don't think they're a favorite. I think they're in the middle. They are which one? They are the Ganges Grandmaster. I think they're in the middle. I think they're a dark horse. I don't think they're a strong contender. I think they're a dark horse. I think they're right in the middle. Let's keep going. Then we have the Moomba Masters. You've got Maxime, Humpy, Harika, Grishuk, Vidit, and Raunak. I think this team is probably the team that's in the most trouble. Also because Grishuk probably has to be replaced. I assume Grishuk doesn't have a visa. I'm sure he'll probably. I mean, I'm sure all the Russians will make it very clear whether they do or they don't. But I'm going to go into the assumption that Grishuk does not have a visa. Okay, so if you don't have Grishuk, it's really hard to see this team doing well. Vidit could have a good result. I don't see any of these players getting red hot though, and I think somebody's going to have to get red hot and carry the team. So I'm probably going to put Moomba. I'm going to put them as the underdog. Underdog, I think, isn't Longshot worse than underdog? Longshot is worse than underdog, right? Actually, I don't know which one. Isn't Longshot worse than underdog? I'll put them as Longshot based on this criteria, since underdog's probably supposed to be the worst. So I'll put it here. And there's going to be 0-second increment, by the way, as well. Underdog is greater than Longshot. Yeah, I was going to say, I think underdog is better, even though my mod team probably messed up the ordering. But whatever. I'll put them as Longshot. Okay, next up, I'll put them as underdog. We have, of course, Peanut Butter and Giri. We have Anish Giri, Tanzhangji, Kashinskaya, Noterbeck, Mamadurov, Nihal. This team is dangerous, by the way. This team could be dangerous. This team, I can reorder it. Yeah, but I'm not. How do I do it? Do I push this down? Oh, there we go. Oh, it's easy. All right, so I'll put them as an underdog then. There we go. This team actually looks quite dangerous to me. I don't know. This team looks could be dangerous. I think a lot depends on Anish though, because if Anish isn't playing great, they're going to struggle a lot. Because I mean, Noterbeck obviously is great. Shaq can be good. Nihal could actually. It's great to see Nihal getting a good chance here. So rigged playing versus teams with guaranteed missing members. I mean, it's unfortunate, but you know, at the end of the day, it's the world we live in. I mean, what do you want me to say? It's the world we live in. I think that probably this team, they're good, but unless Noterbeck or Nihal get red hot, I think they're gonna be. I think they're a dark horse. I don't think they're like a favorite or anything, but I think they have potential. Next up, we have the we've got the Kings. And of course, Jan Nepomniachtchi is unable to play. He's been replaced by Ali Reza Firouzja. As I mentioned, in case you guys weren't watching earlier, it appears that no Russian chess players are able to get visas to London. I believe that is why Andrei Yesipenko dropped out of the WR event in London. Nepo has dropped out of both the WR event in London and the Global Chess League because he can't get a visa. Artemiev unable to play this Global Chess League as well. So I don't think any Russian players who are living in Russia are basically able to get visas. Half the ladies are Russian though. Oh, That's a good question. Like, how's Gunina? Alexander Kosteniuk, I believe, has a Swiss passport, and she lives in Switzerland. Gunina, I thought, lived in Russia, so I don't know. I don't know if Gunina can get I don't know if she can get a visa. Very hard to judge. So you're right. Actually, like, let's see who how many teams can be affected by this. Let me just scroll up briefly. Okay. Logno is living in Russia. I assume she can play, but I don't know. I don't know. So if for example, if Logno is gone, then Magnus's team is still a favorite, but they're not a clear favorite. Like if she can't play, they're not a clear favorite. So that could affect that team. What else do we have? We have no Russians on this team. So basically, yeah. So it only affects the top team most likely. Yeah, if Grisha can't play, then Logno probably can't either. There are a couple, probably true. So let's just assume the teams are as they are. If they change, they change. You've got Ali Reza, you've got Kostenio, Gunina, and you've got Vei, by the way, very underrated player currently. Rajabov and Sindarov. This team has potential, but I think the problem for this team is that Rajabov is going to be a guy who draws every game. I mean, I love Timur. He's from the exact same generation I'm from, but he's very happy to chill and live the easy life and make a bunch of draws. And I don't see him winning a lot of games. Ali Reza could get hot. Wei, if he plays like he did in Poland, it could be a wrecking ball. I think I'm going to put them as a strong contender. I don't think they're a favorite, but I think they're a strong contender. That's what I would say. I think they're a strong contender. And then last but not least, of course, we have the American Gambits team with Hikaru Nakamura, Bibisara Abusayeva, Elizabeth Potts, and we have Vladimir Fedoseev replacing Artemiev, another Russian player unable to get a visa, Jan Krzysztof Duda, and Jonas Buell-Bier. Now, the thing that I would say for people who are wondering, though, about this topic is that for people like Nepo who has a visa for the United States, getting a visa to the United States is different than getting a visa to the United Kingdom. So I don't know the specifics, but that just for anyone who's wondering how Nepo is able to play in the the Grand Chess Tour in the U.S. Fedoseev does not live in Russia. Fedoseev left Russia. He currently lives in Slovenia. He represents Slovenia. Who is the Hikaru Nakamura guy, though? Exactly. Who is he? So this team is, again, someone said rate your team objectively. Very hard to judge. And the reason I'll say very hard to judge is because this is a team that I put the song, you're hot, then you're cold, you're yes, then you're no, you're in, then you're out, you're up, then you're down, and so forth. This team has a lot of potential, but could also be, it's going to run very hot or very cold is what I would say. I feel that Bibisara, she is a pretty strong player. I think she's actually quite good in Rapid and Blitz. I played her a few times in Title Tuesday. So yeah, long shot Kappa, exactly. So she could do well. Lizzie could do well. Very hard to judge. Obviously, she's been around a long time, a serious veteran of the game. Fedoseev, I think, is probably Fedoseev and Artemiev. This is the board, regardless of who it's going to be, and it's going to be Fedoseev has the biggest chance to run it up. So I would say that when I look at these teams, or my team, Duda, by the way, another player. I don't know what's going on with Duda. But my understanding is I think Duda has had health issues over the last year and a half, because he had to withdraw from the Sinkfield Cup last year. He hasn't really been playing much. He played the Olympiad, but he just hasn't been around, considering how strong he is. So I don't really know what to expect of Duda. If Duda plays like the 2750 and Rapid and Blitz that he can be, I think our team is going to do very well. I don't really know a whole lot about Jonas Buell-Bier. He is, of course, the next great hope from Scandinavia after Magnus Carlsen. 2650ish. He should have beaten Magnus in a game, I think, in the European Club Cup not so long ago. So a lot of what our team is going to come down to I think, these three guys, whether they can run hot or cold. Obviously, if I play well, I need to play well, of course. We have chances. It's going to come down to these three guys, though. It's going to come down to Fedoseev, Duda, and Bier. Now, if they're on, I think we have good chances. If they're not on, it's going to be very difficult. So I think what I would say if I do this final team to rate is I would put us. Actually, I'm gonna readjust. I think that I'm gonna put them here and I'm gonna put us here. I don't think anybody's like a long shot per se. I think everybody has a chance, but I'm gonna put us in dark horse above peanut butter and Geary, because frankly I don't see Anish getting red hot. So I'm gonna demote them and put us here. I think it's a pretty fair assessment. I don't think anybody's a long shot, though. I think anybody could win, which is a good thing. That's what I would say. On each demoted, exactly. So that's my ranking for the tier list. I think that if we look at it, that's most likely. Some people were asking the questions as well. Do I think the event should be held in London? I don't know how they chose the location. The previous year it was held in Dubai. Now it's in London. So they're trying to put together a big event in a major Western city. So the time control will be 20-minute, 0-second increment. No increment in the games, which is going to make it very spicy for sure. I think you're going to see some chess bordering on blitz/bullet. But it's going to be a fun event. So I'm looking forward to the Global Chess League. It's going to be running from October 2nd to 12th, or October 3rd to 12th, I should say. So that's going to be what we have. On that note, I'm going to be moving on and calling it for right now. I'm going to go take a short break.